Hey you guys, I'm here with Joe today, and we're going to talk about what we did with our wand from the K&E Edwards Company.
I'm not very good with cameras. So, this wand is awesome, and we had the opportunity to use it as a prop for the LARP that we run called Avagast. And basically, one of the current plot lines that's going on right now is a little bit of a fantasy plot line where we have these two sorcerer characters that are kind of opposing each other.
Can we say their names?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, one of them is called Trihaired, and basically he's one of the last sorcerers with a bloodline claim to the ownership of this land where the players are. And the other one is an undead lich, which is like a sorcerer that's unnaturally extended his life.
And everyone who follows my blog, you've seen the pictures of this from like the old Avagast days. And then there's one picture that I took from the last event. Is a picture of Joe as that character and
As
the other NPCs who are all undead. So that picture, that group picture of all the undead, the really scary one in the back is Erdrix, and the one that I told you guys about from my horrible things that happened to me.
So, since some of our players watch this, I have to be kind of secretive about the plot, but I can tell you guys some about it. But so basically, Laradrix and Trihaired are opposing each other, and they both have a desire to control the players and control the area where the players are currently living. And they're opposing each other. And the wand acted as kind of a MacGuffin, a plot point for us to, get our players kind of opposed to each other. Neither Trihaired nor Laradrix, even though one looks more like a good guy, one is more obviously a bad guy. Neither one of them, their motivations are complex. It's not white and black in Avagast, so basically we put the wand in play, and we gave the characters several different avenues to search for the wand.
Some characters permanently died trying
to find this, actually, because
I told you guys about Emir, my character's friend who died. That was one person who died in this
he died
process.
That event looking for this. So basically there are these people in Avagast called the Decanthurians, and that's what they're called by archaeologists and scholars. Nobody really knows what they were called. There's no Rosetta Stone that explains any of their text. It's just this ancient civilization that is gone and has been, and there's no history texts about this. So it's very strange. Well, this was told to the players to be a Decanthurian artifact of some kind, and it's basically something they would all have a desire to look at least on their own.
Also, because no characters have ever seen anything like this.
Right. This is such a nice prop. I mean, we've never really had
since
a prop.
Magic is so rare, like things like wands and magical items, just people were dying trying to find this because it was cool and it was new.
Yeah. Well, and of course, I mean, I'm saying a bunch about sorcerers and wizards and stuff, but Avagast isn't really intended to be a high fantasy game. It's kind of like Mount and Blade with sorcerers sometimes.
Some people were even like completely not involved in the whole wand magic thing.
Well, so basically, Trihaired came to the characters, the players, and told them, "Hey, I need this wand. It's part of my efforts to destroy this undead character, this lich, Laradrix, and it'll benefit all of us if you bring me the wand." Well, there are some characters who leapt at that opportunity. But the problem was Trihaired didn't know where the wand was. Conversely, on the other side of that, we had Laradrix say the same thing, but to other characters. And basically kind of pit the characters against each other looking for the wand.
Also using hostages to get the wand.
Mm-hmm. We put the wand in a really badass chest and basically hid it out in the woods. And Laradrix told the players, "I can't find it because it's Decanthurian and it's blocked from my scrying or magic or whatever. It wasn't fully explained to them, but that's how we do magic. It makes it more mysterious. And Triheron was like, yeah, go get the wand. So the players had to look, and they searched for an entire event without finding this device. In fact, one of the characters who had gone to search for it, Stephanie mentioned, died in pursuit of it. They were out in the woods, away from their friends.
I
and
was
away
one of
from...
the people looking for it.
And
I didn't
you were
even
with
know.
them at the time.
My character had no clue what she was looking for. I didn't even know that the artifact was this. Really, like my character wasn't completely sure, even though I kind of had an idea since they used one of my props as an Avagast artifact, and now it's an Avagast artifact, and I kind of knew that out of play. But like my characters, I still didn't really know what to look for, so I couldn't find it, and I gave up, and I was just sure that whatever it was wasn't there. Like I just was sure that it wasn't there.
Yeah, players were a little frustrated. I mean, we play in a relatively rural area, and we hit it well. I mean, we put it out in the woods, and we told them, we want you to find it.
It was hard.
It was difficult. Well, so they go out there to find it, and they get attacked. Some of them got attacked. They were away from their allies, and one of them got killed, actually.
And I got attacked.
Pretty tragically, actually, the way he got killed over this wand. So this is a character death over this item, over this plot line.
A pretty new character too. He was only a couple months old.
Long time player though.
Yeah.
But I'm rude, obviously. I'm sorry about that. So, in any event, they go out to the woods, and they get ambushed, basically. Not ambushed, but they encounter this other group. They get attacked.
It was an unexpected group of more guys than we could handle. So, it's technically an ambush.
And the players had kind of made a mistake. When the NPCs came at them, it was kind of through this corridor of bushes and trees and stuff.
I mostly made a mistake.
And, well, the players, I think they got a little intimidated by... we were almost an even number of people. And I think they were, we need to fight them, but we want to retreat. Avagast is a hit location game, and it can be very deadly if the odds are against you.
Because combat is over quickly, so you don't have a lot of time to mess up.
Yeah. So the tactical mistake that the players made was they backed up. They didn't basically keep us in a corridor and limit how many of us could fight them and stuff. They were fleeing, but not fleeing, a tactical flee.
I ran, but not far enough, so I told you guys about how I got caught, and then I got hurt, and then I killed the dude who hurt me. But it didn't do any good, because I didn't make it back in time to save Amir. Which was the whole reason why I hung around and didn't run completely back to camp, which was like a 10-minute run away.
That is a long run, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why they expected me to make that run. I did stay.
Go get help! Go get help! No one's coming. Well, they did come, but it was too late. Ymir is dead. So basically, the way that he got killed, actually, I have to tell this story because I want to shame Henry forever.
I haven't heard exactly the story.
Okay. Well, basically, we get into this situation. We come up, and we're all fighting, and Marius is a Grecan, which is like a medieval Norman French kind of character, and he's an archer.
You guys have seen a picture of him.
And he basically they split themselves up a little bit, and it allowed us to kind of cut through between them and split them up so they couldn't, and that put Ymir over here on his own. So he was completely alone, and there was two of us. He got dropped, and then I was shot in the leg by Marius. I fall to the ground, and Marius pulls a arrow, and he lifts it up and points it at me. And at that exact moment, unbeknownst to me, behind me, one of the other characters that were fighting the players had grabbed Ymir on the ground and pulled his head up by his hair, and they had a knife to him, and they're like, put the bow down or else we'll kill him, And we're like, put the bow down, put the bow down. And it was Marius and Laridius, and I could tell that Laridius was like, oh no, we don't want our friend to get killed here. I mean, we try to keep things as realistic as possible, so if an NPC threatens he's going to kill someone, we would.
Laridius is someone who everyone knows and has been around the camps for years.
Yep, and he was kind of like a leader of the group, so this would have been on him. I don't know. It's complex.
Also,
Maybe Doug
Luridius
will
is
give you
in
some.
Iridian.
So we tell him to put the bow down, and Marius, I look at Luridius, and Luridius kind of starts to put his weapon down. I could tell that he was considering it. Marius puts his bow down a little bit, but then he looked to Luridius, and we knew right then that what he was going to do was try and attack us rather than negotiate. So the moment he kind of lifts his bow, even it was just so subtle that we noticed it. I was like, kill him! And the NPC just killed the character, stabbed him in the, he cut his throat and stabbed him once in the chest, which is pretty much death in Avagast. And he was killed just like that. And Marius was like, no! And shot me with an arrow, and then they killed the other guy. Well, what made this particularly cool, too, and this is all over this search for this wand,
that we didn't
that
find.
nobody had even found at this point. What made this particular PvP or situation so cool was when we died, they had to go find Saga because she had run off to go get help. So,
and I made the mistake of not yelling for help when I was taken captive because I was.
I thought he had knocked you out though.
All right. So first I ran off and I hung back and it got quiet and I just assumed that we either won or in that little squabble that happened there, or they needed my help, and that was why everything was quiet because they didn't come out of the trails. So I was trying to make my way back, and I had run away trying to outrun one guy who split off and went after me because he noticed that their one healer ran off to hide. So it wasn't a good idea for me to come walking back, and all I had was a sword that I had borrowed from another character, and I see him, and we lock eyes, and so I turn, and by the way, this is all while a mom and her son are walking. I knew I could not run them, and like I said, camp was 10 minutes away, so I tried to run into the woods, but I didn't notice that the clearing that I thought was there was actually just really thick brush and stuff that was way too tall, so my high stepping runs couldn't get me through there, and I tripped. But right after I tripped, so did the guy that was running after me. But I was so exhausted that I just laid there because I thought there's no way I'm going to be able to defend myself. And he's apologetically trying to disarm me, and he's like, just give me your weapon and I'm not going to hurt you and I'm just going to take you, and I'm just like, fine. But keep in mind, I didn't want to be taken again. And we make it back, and then we come up on Luridius and Marius, and I see Marius has an arrow drawn, and he's ready.
I thought Marius shot him through the woods.
No. But I see that Amir isn't there, and then I realize that Amir is dead. No, and then I felt awful because I felt like it was my fault that Amir died, and so I disarmed the guy that was taking me captive, and I killed him. And this is also after he did knock me out, so that's why Amir was dead by the time I got back, because my character was unconscious in the woods for about 10 minutes.
Well, Ymir was dead because
with a hammer.
Ymir was dead because we stabbed him until death.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have been.
My character didn't know. She just assumed that he had bled out by the time she got there, because she couldn't tell. She just saw that he was
right,
cut up. And she didn't know that his death was instant. So, I kind of thought that he suffered, and I beat the crap out of that NPC, and later I found out that I bent the dude's glasses.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway, so I make it back, and then, Marius kind of shoots him as I'm hitting him, and I hit him till he hits the ground, and then I hit him some more because, multiple hits don't count as the final killing blow until you're already on the ground unconscious. So, for good measure, I hit him again in the head with his weapon. I killed this NPC with his weapon. And so then we realized that Amir is dead, and we didn't find the artifact, and so we just go back to camp real depressed.
To me, what was cool about it, though, was we had all the dead bodies just stayed where they were. And
way later
they had to get
back.
Ymir's corpse. I mean, this was a person who was their friend. They wanted to give him a proper funeral. Basically, the way death works in Avagast is if you die, we want the whole 9 yards. We want people to be able to mourn over you and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to be playing a dead body for a minute. and contemplating the decisions that
It's
brought you
suggested
to
that you
point.
wait around for 20 minutes unless, it's
Well, he was-
cold or raining.
Well, and he was with us too. So they go back to town. Well, they ended up coming back, and a whole big group of them, and they of course had to carry their friend to burial and stuff. One of the things that was interesting was he was a evangelist, which means he worships it's his religion basically. It's like a
Kind of like an Avogast pagan.
yeah, it's like a pagan faith. Well, so he should have been buried according to that, but I think he was. But then there was some
When Amelie performs the funerals, we best believe that Solaris is involved.
Well, so the main religion in Avogast is Abiosolarism, which is like a sun god Christianity, kind of very organized
Saratu.
religion. Saratu, as the Vanzarists call him, the black sun, not the.
Satan, kind of.
So
Like Satan.
basically, so in any event, though, so whether or not it was found at that event, I can't reveal. But by the next event, it still wasn't out where everybody, it wasn't delivered to Trihearn at least. So, but I think there was some discussion or speculation anyway. So, finally, Trihearn comes back into the village. Usually, we have like a theme where Trihearn comes in and has a feast and hosts it and everything. And he comes in and he's okay. Well, where is this artifact? I've told you I needed it. We need it to destroy the Lich. Don't you want to destroy Liches? Let's, you're supposed to be cooperating here. And the player's like, all right, well, we have it. All we need to do is just go get it. We know where it is. Uh-oh. They go out into the woods. They've got lanterns and candles, and they're searching. I mean, it's pitch black, dead of night. They're searching with torches and candles, huh?
Was this the trails?
No, they were searching near the town. So they had hid it somewhere in the woods near the village, I guess. Well, so they're searching everywhere for this thing. Everywhere. Could not find it. Could not find it. And Amelie is, I know it's here. We had it. The players were confident that they knew that they had hid this item here. Some of them, at least. Couldn't find it. Eventually, Trihearn gets upset. And the sorcerer says, well, look, here I am. I've been attempting to assist you. You guys are supposed to be assisting me. I'm leaving my man, Jonathan, here, in case you change your mind and you decide to give it to him. And Trihearn leaves. A little while later, Lairdrix comes into the village, wielding the wand. Now, how did he get it? That remains to be seen. However, what I think probably most players would identify as the bad guy has the magical artifact.
As if he wasn't already magical
enough. Yeah, powerful enough, right? Well, both of these characters are supposed to be very, very powerful. In Avogast, magic is very mysterious, and we want it to be that way. We want it to feel like that old Dragon Slayer movie, where, there's the magic is part of gemstones that are, specifically tuned and things are being activated. And I don't know, we just want it to seem more sword and sorcery, more Dark Ages. And so most of the time, it's just superstition and building superstition and mystery.
And not knowing what's superstition and what's fact as a player is awesome.
Yeah, and that's probably the most important thing. We don't publish any of the magic rules or content or any of that. If you can do it, you can, and you know what you can do. If you can't,
you don't need to know.
You don't need to, or in-game, though, there's all sorts of superstition about what people can do.
For example, so many people just fail at trying to keep away the Vargulf.
Yes.
Like, here's an Ander! Like, what are you doing?
So, in any event...
Oh, Vargulf are like werewolves, by the way.
It's the outlandish term for them. They're like a lesser lycanthrope, basically, but very powerful in Avogast because we don't have a ton of fantasy.
They're the same as Stegavarian.
Right.
Which are also werewolves.
This artifact is basically become a central plot point of Avogast because of all of this. The players obviously Triheron still wants the wand, even though Laradrix has it. And, will there be consequences for him having it? It remains to be seen, because it was our last event where all this occurred. So our upcoming event, maybe our players will have to think about that, or, and obviously if the players were complicit in getting it to him, someone stands to benefit, I suppose. So anyway, it was awesome, and it was a great prop, and I'm glad that we had the opportunity to use it.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. I dig it. And well, what I like about it is the quality. Like, it feels, when we handed this to a player, this isn't plastic, this is wood. And it's got this nice, I don't know if the camera, it's fuzzy. It's got this nice, this is all wood.
Oh, also, I'll have a link to the video that I posted when I first received and unboxed this. But since then, some things have happened to it.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly a dog.
It got grabbed, unfortunately.
But we're going to do some loving to it.
We've got some ideas on how to fix the little divots that occurred, but...
Or we can just say...
We're in love with this thing.
Yeah, we love it anyway. We want
It's awesome.
We want to take care of it.
So, I mean, anytime you can have a good prop, and of course...
quality prop like
we never told the players what this did. When the players who found it, actually... It was in a box.
It's kind of like a caveman finding a flat screen TV and expecting to do something with it. Like, we can't even use it,
Well, we gave the impression that there was something about it, that it was, obviously it was supposed to pulse with energy, or, it was supposed to be superstitious, of course. We try to run the most immersive game possible, so we don't want to do anything we can't represent.
I remember a lot of people being afraid to touch it.
Yes, that's usually the case with Magic stuff, though.
Like, don't touch it.
Magic stuff is extremely powerful in Avagos. To give you an example, armor makes you immune to weapon types in Avagos. So if you're wearing chainmail, for instance, and someone has an edged weapon like this, and they hit you on your chainmail, you just ignore the blow completely. So if they want to, if it's two guys in chainmail fighting, and they really seriously need to end this combat, a lot of times the fight devolves into wrestling, and then one of them lifting up a chainmail shirt and stabbing, and I mean, it's really intense. Well, this was magic weapons go through everything. So they cut through shields, they cut through armor.
I hope that isn't a magic weapon, but I wouldn't know.
Well, it's not a magic weapon.
You know what I mean.
I'm just trying to say
play,
that
I hope it doesn't ever act as a weapon. I'm just afraid.
Hitting people with this?
No, I mean, I hope it never is used to kill someone. That would make me sad.
Oh goodness, maybe it already has been. You don't know.
Oh no.
So, in any event, while it might not be a magic weapon, I guess what I was trying to say was, that's pretty much the only thing that's known as far as magic rules in the game, is this weapon. So that should give, as a player, I think they're like, oh.
Other
goodness,
than that, we just really go by subtle hints, when once magic was used on my character, can I say?
Yeah.
Actually, it was represented by a crystal ring that lit up, and it was being used by, guess, Laradrix. And it was used to revive my character from an unconscious state and force her to follow him.
Goodness.
And so...
Never good.
But, I don't understand any magic rules as a player because I don't have magic, and I'm unconscious, and I know that I'm doing my count for 10 minutes of unconsciousness, so when a plot member, and I recognize their voice, comes up and gives me an order to wake up and follow them, I just automatically just understand in play. It didn't even require any out-of-game explanation,
right?
Which is great. And that's what's awesome about this, is that it didn't require out-of-game explanation or
when we do magic, too, we try to keep it as subtle as possible without breaking character. I mean, obviously, it's magic. It's not real, so there is going to be the potential for immersion breaking. We want to keep it as immersive as possible is our goal. So usually, and I think in your case, I was playing Laradrix, I bent over.
It was super immersive, because you could just assume, oh, I'm hearing a voice, I must be conscious, so...
Well, I mean, and I think what I had whispered, too, was something along the line...
And also, there's, a glowing red light in my face, and I see, a skeleton hand, and I'm just like, oh, no, Laradrix.
No. Well, so that's the story of the wand, and thank you guys for giving it to Stephanie so that she could, let us use it and see kind of the quality of your item. I mean, for those of you out there, I would highly, highly recommend this merchant. I mean,
On Etsy, I'm gonna have a link to their shop.
in the description, is it down below? Do we get to do that on the video?
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh yeah,
can
down there somewhere. It's somewhere down there. It might be over there one day, or over there the other day, or there, whatever.
Wherever we put the annotation, probably down there.
Yeah. In any event, awesome wand. Check the link in the description. Go out, and if you're into wands and magic and anything, I mean, it doesn't have to be LARP. It could be cosplay, Harry Potter. I mean, I'm not sure what all you might want to use wands for, but they're awesome.